Thompson Productions.
I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago, and I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
Gary Webb. I am an investigative journalist, and in 1996, I wrote a series of stories entitled Dark Alliance, which was about CIA involvement in drug trafficking.
I knew a man who once said death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back.
We've opened Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
on.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the red
Number 322.
I sad duty to report this afternoon that my friend and colleague, Tim Russert, collapsed and died early this afternoon.
I may die in this cell tonight or in the arena tomorrow. I am a slave. What possible difference can I make?
And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
What the fuck's up? Welcome to another Already Dead. It's May 20th. I'm joined by Austin Wade Picard, and we have Jules as well. We're kicking you out. I fucked up. Goodbye, Jules. We will bring you back for the call-in portion of the show. But yeah, we're changing up the format. We're kicking Jules out during this period of the show. We will bring him back for the call-in. He's still here though. Say hi, Jules.
What's up, guys? Hey.
Whoa, isn't it amazing what we can do with modern technology?
My beautiful.
Oh my Speaking of which, we've animated a corpse for somewhere in the realm of 4 years, apparently, and I think our necromancy has lost its potency, and it's returning to dust now, I believe.
What a crazy story that is. Like,
yeah.
The fact that potentially you have this dude, you know, obviously, which it's kind of like removing that mask once again, you know, kind of providing us once more with the window into the shadow cabal that truly, you know, proves out what we kind of already knew, you know, by this point. And so I'm not at all shocked that we have this you know, revealing happening, because to me, it's obvious that it's kind of, in my mind, it's a way to, first of all, keep in mind, right, that hilarious joke that I saw running around, like going viral in terms of his cancer diagnosis, as far as how the Washington Times article from 2015, when he allegedly claimed he faked prostate cancer to get out of the Obama administration. And you go and look for that article. It's been memory hold. It's purged, right? So it's just hilarious to me that it's a scrubbed piece. But again,
so that was one of the things they were pointing to, because I know that one thing they were throwing around is, I believe it was 2024. Like, so it was like about I think, I don't know if this is about a year ago, maybe a little under a year ago. I guess his brother, I think, said something about.
Nope.
I think it was around the time of him losing or something. It made some, I forget the specific phrase he used, but very clearly, you know, heavily. I don't even know how you could interpret the words he used into other than some sort of medical, obviously implying that, like, oh, we can have him in his last days type deal or something. And then, yeah, so it's like, I don't know. It is kind of wild. I mean, I was listening to my buddy Clint's episode on today, and he was, I guess, showed that a few different doctors, I guess, I'm sure if we paid attention to the news, probably that, like McCullough and a few other notable ones have pointed out that, like, just the way that prostate cancer works is either, like, there's one of two options. Either it's an extremely, extremely rare, like, super cancer, which would likely be, ironically, probably something from like a Pokey Pokey, or he almost, which is probably the more likely scenario I had to guess, and this is what it sounds like from the doctor saying it, is that it's more likely it was during, this is probably it. We can play that, but it was during his administration. But let's go and play it.
Exactly.
You believe it is likely if this prostate cancer spread to the bone that he could have had it for up to a decade, but certainly it's likely. Would it be fair to say it's likely to have had this for at least several years?
Oh, more than several years. You don't get prostate cancer.
I just want to stop you. So this is not speculation. If you have prostate cancer that is spread to the bone, then he's most certainly, you are saying, had it when he was president of the United States.
Oh, yeah. He did not develop it in the last 100, 200 days. He had it while he was president. He probably had it at the start of his presidency in 2021. Yes, that I don't think there's any disagreement about that.
And I'm just curious again, if your doctor to a president of the United States that is a male, that is an older man, would a prostate test, and again, we're just talking about a PSA screening, a blood test that you could do along with all the other blood tests. It's not even that it would be intrusive. Would this not be one of the first tests that you would conduct as a White House doctor?
If you're a White House doctor in this situation, I think you would certainly discuss it with the president and talk about the pros and cons. I think if you then ask, well, if President Biden says, well, if I'm your father, which patients often do, what would you recommend? I think the fact is that most White House doctors would recommend getting the test. And again, the evidence is, look at President Obama, President Bush, younger than President Biden, and they both got the test.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was pulling up a couple tabs. I don't know if they mentioned it there, but the idea that this looks like they were fudging up the numbers of the, or not the numbers, but the tests. I don't know if they're taking somebody else's, feeling up somebody else's prostate and putting their samples in. But it's kind of wild that, and it looks like he very much was like basically a puppet president during all this. We have, this is actually wrong one. I pulled the wrong one here. Here's Jake Tapper, which I guess he's kind of been notable lately. I guess he's writing a book or something is my understanding. But by the way, thanks Rage Child for tagging me in this. But this is a video with Tapper saying Hunter Biden was driving the decision-making for the family. But yeah, Tapper, I guess, has come out saying, I believe, my understanding is that he did know some of this stuff, and he's like now coming out being like, oh, I have a tell-all book, as if this doesn't make him look like an absolute giant piece of shit. Because, like, I mean, you should have been blowing the whistle on this before as a journalist. But let's go and play this real quick and see, because I haven't had a chance to watch this. I'm kind of interested in see what this reveals about. Obviously, I mean, this really shows what shambles Biden was in during his entire administration, which we already knew, but it's even worse than we kind of thought, So, but let's play this.
How big a factor was the Hunter stuff?
I think it was considerable. I think Hunter was driving the decision making for the family in a way that he was almost like a chief of staff of the family.
Does that strike you as pretty bizarre?
It's bizarre because I think he is provably, demonstrably unethical, sleazy, and prone to horrible decisions. I mean,
tell me how you really feel.
Well, I mean, I'm just look at the record. I mean, after his brother died, he cheated on his wife with his brother's widow and then got her addicted to crack. That's just one thing I could say. I mean, I don't have a lot of personal regard for him, and just based on having nothing to do with, I barely have ever met him. I've met him like once or twice, but I knew Bo. Bo was a great, upstanding guy.
I knew him too. Really,
a real loss for the country too, not just for his family, for the country. But Hunter is not that, and the idea of letting him drive the family car, as it were, is just really, really.
All right, that's all on that one. I am kind of curious. I feel like I need to look into this on my own later. Like, what the fuck is the specific situation in which Jake Tapper finds himself in? I just need to know, how the fuck do you spin this to where doesn't make you look ridiculous? I mean, don't get me wrong. There could be some specific set of some specific scenario where I'm like, okay, maybe he had some sort of, hey, exclusive, but it was just kind of like, but with the hey, this hold till then, like this obviously news is going to be unavoidable by a certain point, and so you can have this. So like, I don't know, maybe my point being is like, obviously I'm not one to give Jake Tapper any sort of benefit of the doubt, really, because fuck him, but it's like, man, even from someone that's not of our on our team, it's like, man, how are you fucking spitting this and coming out? There's got to be something. I feel like there's got to be something I'm missing here. That or they're just really that despicable. I mean, I know. Then again, we have like situations with like the Tim Pools of the world coming out and telling us about Chatham House rules as if it's no big whoop. So I don't know. I guess is it really that crazy when we have like a Jake Tapper doing this? I don't know. It seems like kind of a wild slap in the face without any sort of explanation to me.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just nuts to see the kind of the. I don't know, the leftist media kind of turning, it seems like, at least. I mean, we just watched a clip from MSNBC before this on the prior president as if whatever. It's just nuts. See everyone just rolling over Biden now.
Dude, I do know that it was kind of interesting what Trump had to say as far as they keep referencing the auto pen as if that is the all pervasive leader that is the face of the shadow cabal deep state. But it's I don't know. To me, that seems a little bit like a convenient way to sort of control the narrative around a lot of the Biden administration to begin with, because clearly all of us are under the impression at this point that Biden was not calling any of the real shots and effectively was in no way responsible for any of the legislative actions that were being passed through and at any real level.
Yeah,
he was just.
I do think you're totally correct. I do think there's a little bit of maybe a frame game, and then sorry, I didn't mean to step on you a little bit there, but you're gonna jump off of a frame game being done here, and that it does look like obviously everyone's throwing the previous administration on the bus. Now that it's probably somewhat unavoidable that this stuff is going to come out, plus just kind of like now's the time. I mean, if they're wanting to build a new, it's a building season. They got to throw out the old. It's time for the new. There's no any real reason to hold on to Biden. So it's, hey, let's throw one of the bus. Now it's kind of the perfect political calculus time, but it is the frame here is like, hey, here's this completely fucked like shell of a biological being. Like he's just fucked. And then, that we basically weakened at Bernie's for at least 4 years or so. And then his crackhead son that's his like basically kind of, he's the one that's, carrying the corpse around. Yeah. Although, like, I do think there is probably truth to that. I wouldn't be surprised if Hunter did kind of move like his handler, but handling for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, there are other people who clearly he's working with other people. He's not alone. Yeah. But this is how it's going to be framed, as if it's just his doddering old fool and his crackhead son that he just enabled, and that's going to be the story here.
I mean, just through the Burisma story alone, like we know he was clearly in negotiations with a lot of the business deals that were being done behind the scenes, and would just bring in the big guy. Sort of, he was effectively the essentially the front man for in the plausible, but not at all plausible deniability whatsoever, because he's clearly like the conflict of interest is so obvious at face value. This is your son, but at this point, it's like we've crossed the Rubicon. Look at how much people supported the Trump administration, effectively bringing in his family members to the and as far as the inner circle of the administration, which from the outset, it's like I understand why you would want your family to be a part of any sort of like you're running the country, right? So you would want to insulate yourself as much as possible with people that you can actually trust. But it is, again, it's kind of like this is a precedent setting notion as far as kind of at this level, how much are we witnessing this overlap of familial connections in terms of these administrations, and how much there's an overrepresentation of essentially just, you know, in my mind, it's an organized crime tactic, right? It's kind of how they operate in general as well. So it's like, keep it within the family. It makes more sense that way. You can control all of these various assets in a much more, you know, just effective way. And so in my mind, that makes a lot more sense. And to me, obviously, Hunter Biden for sure had played a prominent role throughout the entire Biden administration. But I would think that mainly just to kind of cash in on a lot of the those very conflicts of interest that we're pointing out and we're all very aware of, because essentially that's kind of what you do as the president. You just, right, you that is what is the each and every one of the case in point. It's like each and every one of these presidents, they once they leave office, they're worth far more than when they entered office, obviously, as far as and on that salary, we're meant to believe that they're not just entirely cashing in on these bribes and various political government corruption and backroom dealings with these private bureaucrats, right? That
no,
are
they're public
unelected.
servants, Austin.
Well,
they're doing
know
it for
that.
the good of it. They, for some reason, this is why I always kind of hated. I think this is why I innately always hated. I never liked the thank you for your service. Like, just that innate. Right. They're like, no, like, for the idea that like any of these, you know, even in the military or any of the, or you know, any public servant, that any of these people are doing it of their good of their own heart is fucking retarded. It's and honestly, it's kind of insulting. It's almost as if you're calling, like, in a certain sense, when somebody says thank you for your service, it's almost like you're calling me an idiot, because you're like, you're it's as if I could be doing something better. Like, you know, like I don't know. Like, maybe I could, but it's, I don't know. It's just, the point being is it's just like, no, I'm a human being that has needs, and you know, I work towards my incentives. So like, I don't know, I'm not doing anything special here. I'm getting paid for it, for a thing. If anything, it's like, that's the insult. It's almost as if someone's saying that, like, you're not getting paid or something. Like, no, I'm getting paid for what I'm doing here. Like,
yeah, I think we've all been so very much conditioned within the structure of this current system that it's like, you know, it's almost like members of a cult carrying out, right, they're essentially just reciting their lines that they've been given and conditioned to embrace from day one philosophically, as far as this pedestal, placing the military industrial complex on this pedestal, you know, as if it is somehow ethically superior. And in many ways, that's just structured foundationally in deception entirely. It's the entire point behind the way that it's been conceptually constructed is for us to embrace this false reality where, you know, as if what instituting and implementing democracy on the world stage is some sort of divine path and a course that we must pursue no matter who is in office. But in reality, it's just a regime change, nation building operation to implement the global infrastructure of what to me feels like a totalitarian dystopian reality that we're potentially facing, as far as the inevitable outcome that I think we truly, you know, I think that's the ultimate threat that I think we should spotlight as often as we can. And that's why I always think of the Committee of 300, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, right? The Chatham House, right? It's like they've been choosing our presidents for how fucking long. And at this point, I'm just like sick and tired of these examples of a Biden.
Yeah.
And we're still under this delusion that these individuals have any role to really play as far as the outcome is concerned. No, they're here to play their role as the political puppet, to manufacture the misconceptions, to deceive you at every level, and deceive their base as well, to give these plausible justifications for the immoral outcomes that we consistently realize over time, over and over on our taxpayer dime. And I mean, it's like, at this point, brother, you know, they're all they're all already dead, right? It's like honestly, they're just cashing in for all their various. You already know how the game is played. War is a racket, and so.
Which I mean, why would pardons be any different? So I mean, I do have, for the listeners on this, I brought up, there was a report that apparently the staffers operating Biden's auto pen were allegedly taking payoffs in exchange for pardons. This is per Representative Tim Burchett. So it's like, which once again, I don't think that's anything probably too much different than the status quo. But now this kind of perfectly fits into the frame game here. This is like an administration run amok. You know, a crackhead chief of staff son, essentially. And then you have this doddering old fool. Then now you have the staffers, kind of like essentially, which are, you know, seen as like what, like, you know, early 20s idiots. You know, so it's like the people that are supposed to be controlled. So this kind of just fits into the framing of, oh, just whatever's going on. So it's like there's always got to be excuse. It's the same idea of like the boom bust. Every single time, there's always an excuse. It's always, oh no, it's not that this is naturally a economy falling. It's like, oh no, this is from COVID, or this is from whatever. There's always some major event that kind of does it. But either way, this doesn't. I have a feeling this is probably just kind of the status quo. But they got to find a way to sell it, because they know. I mean, especially. I didn't even think about when I started, first started reading this, about how some of the insane fucking pardons that were out there this go around. Far as like what was it, Hunter himself, and it was something retarded, 14 years, like undefined, just kind of, hey, if you vaguely committed crime during your life, you're good, dude.
Yeah, man, these are elite crime families, that pass down the family business from generation to generation and insulate themselves further from any real accountability from the general public. And, we're left on the outside looking in at the individuals stuck in the trap. Obviously, it's just kind of ridiculous at this point. I understand it's, this is a very sophisticated, just honestly, asymmetric warfare, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional warfare, like psychological warfare at a level that it is manufacturing consent that is really, I think it's overachieving, even in the minds of the sadistic sociopaths who are really truly at the, at least holding and pulling the levers of power, in more ways than one. And I think that a great example of these pardons, and what I had mentioned privately, was congratulations to our new U.S. ambassador to France, Charles Kushner, right? The U.S. Senate approved his nomination. Okay. So it's not as if we have to concern ourselves with the fact that it was during the original Trump administration where he received his pardon. Right, because in 2005, Kushner pled guilty to 18 counts, including tax evasion, illegal campaign contributions, and witness tampering. He served 14 months in federal prison and was disbarred from practicing law. The witness tampering charge involved a scheme where he hired a prostitute to entrap his brother-in-law, who was cooperating with federal authorities. In December 2020, President Trump granted him a full pardon, citing his philanthropic efforts and personal reform. So this is the way of the world.
The prostitute.
Yeah, brother.
What did it say? It's so weird.
We're surrounded by psychopaths, man. Like, it's so clearly obvious to me. And
I gotta know if it was his sister's brother, or not his sister's, but his sister's husband, or his wife's brother. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta know, like, I don't know. It matters to me which it is.
Right. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I definitely think that's just ridiculous, right? And it's par for the course. It's exactly what we're just discussing is, who's receiving these pardons. It's all just kind of just a branch of insider trading at a politically corrupt level. It's like you see Congress. I don't know, man. Like I'm not at all attempting to, provide the black pill. But it's just, I think the current structured system is we have to get past this. We have to once and for all kind of deal with this philosophically within, internally within the concept of our own minds and the framework that we kind of engage in reality with, and that way we can insulate ourselves from the consequences as much as possible. I think that's ultimately the goal of what I'm attempting to achieve more often than not. And by the way, to that point, you see Arkansas, my home state, recognizing Judea and Samaria Act, prohibiting state agencies from using the term West Bank in official government documents and communications. And I saw Cassandra McDonald. She tweeted, "Where in Arkansas is Israel?" And she's absolutely right. That's just it's a poignant statement, because honestly, this is happening in Texas. We just witnessed the same exact thing. It's again a recurring theme, and something that I don't know, man. Like when you're legitimately kind of, that is a play to Trump's base in many ways, right? It's all very much political, and I think that's you just witness, playing into this very strong, Christian Zionist delusion, unfortunately, that's being, I think, exploited. And it's most people, I think, who are falling into the trap and embracing the false narrative, is they're clearly, they mean well, they have good intentions. It's just how propaganda works. And so they're entrapped into this again, it's an ideological prison, and it's how you manipulate the minds of the masses. It's you deliberately infiltrate their ideological framework and conceptual outline, and you disrupt it, you destabilize it, and you kind of keep spurring them in the proper direction in terms of the permanent establishment and how they view things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
by the way,
brother.
Gerald Hall here says Charles claims $1 million of office furniture as a charity write-off, which is an insane thing to do. And it was his sister's husband he sent the prostitute, which I don't know why, but for some reason that's more fucked up to me than the alternative. Something about like your sister's husband that just seems fucked up. But if it's like your wife's brother, it's kind of funny. I don't know, because like
I know, right? That's so funny, dude. You're right. That is actually kind of interesting, but I just
so actually kind of like back to like fuck this guy. I thought it was kind of funny. I mean, it's still kind of funny, but it's like, that's fucked up. You did that to your sister's husband. That's why. But if it was your wife's brother, you're like, yeah, fuck that guy. Like, I don't even know who your wife's brother is. But everyone, I don't know, just the stereotypical wife's brother just is much more like, yeah, fuck that guy.
For real. But still, it's like, it was kind of hilarious as far as, it's, again, a Kushner, right, who has, I think Jared Kushner has far more power than people realize. Honestly,
what fucking old BB used to sleep in his room when he'd come visit.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's crazy how much. And again, what was it? The guy who took the fall for a while back, a couple of months ago, that was like Jared Kushner's college roommate, and he was responsible for the Israel policy for a time. It was just like, and then who replaced him? None other than like some former IDF individual who had effectively been in the Israeli military, obviously. And so it's still just ridiculous to me, how we see this consistent conflict, right? And as far as this particular state is concerned, but also it's like you see like the USS Liberty, dude. Apparently they're attempting to not even allow them to hold their annual reunion for the USS Liberty, and this is being cracked down by this individual who is like, apparently they're attempting to shut down the 58th reunion in Norfolk, Virginia, right? And this is
how so?
Israel, and it looks like this is just former VFW individuals who were actually affiliated with this reunion in the USS Liberty event, and apparently they're just proving the fact that there is a constant crackdown on anyone who seems to oppose the current state of Israel. And by the way, I was thinking, just as far as Ye's song, right,
Al Hitler, yeah,
like, yeah, I'm like, the main thought that I had was, could that plausibly lead to, obviously, a genuine
world peace,
reaction that
obviously,
would,
yeah.
right. But clearly, it's like it plays into the idea of how they've already been cracking down, this current administration, been cracking down on the First Amendment and just the justification of anti-Semitism, right?
You see, they dropped you see they banned even the instrumental on Spotify
Dude,
of it.
yeah, and
it was called Heil Symphony, I think is the version. So it wasn't even called Heil Hitler. So the title was Heil Symphony. It was just the instrumental of the Heil Hitler, which was kind of nice. Sounded nice. I mean, you wouldn't know anything different than it was just some sort of like classical kind of I don't know, just instrumental beat type. Like I don't know. Obviously, you don't know the words. And that's getting banned off of it too. So and to add to that, obviously, I know I talked about it last night. I had Ken Silva on. I did like a stream last night.
Oh yeah.
But and then also we got our homie Toad who got fucking nuked. Got fired,
Dude,
which is like I know
right.
It's
cancel cultures. That's not just saying. I'm reinforcing. Proof positive cancel culture is just alive and well, right?
Luckily, I think he'll be fine. I mean, he'll be good. I mean, obviously, go support him. I don't know. I don't think I put it in the. It's in my stream from last night. It's in if you're looking for the link, it's in there. Maybe I'll put this one in later. I don't know. Either way, I think it's like givesendgo.com/TowerGangToad. I think it's actually. I saw the URL recently. So. But yeah, no, he legit just got fired for singing Heil Hitler. For those who haven't seen it, I mean, the chorus is "Nigga Heil Hitler." All my niggas are Nazis. Nigga Heil Hitler, and that's the chorus. But like, it's a song, and it's a ukulele cover. And like, I know a lot of people have seen a lot of hating and being like, "Oh, I did this." And even then, like some people like on our side were kind of like, "I don't think like I sympathize with them," but it's like, "What did you expect?" And you're like. I don't know. Like that's really that one's like it'd be one thing if it's like there's a lot of things that Toad and like Tower Gang and like all of us have done that if like got in trouble for you'd be like, okay, all right, yeah, I get it. What do we expect? Like that was pretty wild. But like this one was legit pretty much like I mean, yeah, okay, it was a saucy fucking it wasn't even like a racial slur. It's I guess niggas. So I mean I guess you could be you could be petty about that and be like, let's let your I don't know. I feel like if you're complaining about like an A nigga, like I don't know. It's my point being is it's not even like something that's like insanely. It's a song. Like you know what I mean. Like it's just bizarre the idea that someone could be like, oh, you sang a cover of a song. Oh yeah. And it's obviously like it's just kind of it's obviously like funny. Like I don't know
exactly.
But yeah, to be sing a cover of a song and get fired. I mean, to be fair, if I had to bet, to be fair to his company. I bet you it probably was that he did get. They probably did. It was probably they were getting flooded with emails from people, and they probably were finding. It probably wasn't just the video. It was probably them finding stuff because what they did to Cole, my buddy. Because this isn't the first time I've been doing stuff since like 2020, and pretty much damn near every one of the Tower Gang guys except for me, surprisingly. I don't think I've ever gotten doxxed. Pretty much all of us, I think, have gotten doxxed. And Cole got fired. So when he got fired, it was early before our show was even that big. So it wasn't even like we could go fund me. No one gave a fuck. Like we were nobodies. So he got fired and had to figure the fuck out. Toad's made like at least gotten like 10K. So it's something,
Yeah. Absolutely.
But Cole got fired. He was literally arguing with somebody about age of consent shit. And then someone literally took Cole's tweets and sent him to his employer. And the fucked up part is anyone who actually read the thread could tell the position that Cole was taking, but they were taking out of context screenshots to make it look like Cole was literally taking the exact opposite position he was taking, and as if he was like arguing for like lowering the age of consent or something like that.
Wow.
Literally the one that they got him is I think he literally did the thing where you like ask someone their position to clarify. And so he said, so you have the right to X, Y, blah, 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 like saying like this is your position. And it sounds like he's saying, oh, you have the right to like essentially rape kids or whatever. You're like, whoa, dude, that's not at all what he said. It's literally the exact opposite that's going on. But they'll do that. They'll do that shit and they'll find whatever they can that's awful to try to get you fired. And Who do you really think fucking? I mean, even despite the fact that Toad gave 18 years of his life to this fucking faceless corporation, they're not gonna bother to look through the context. They're just gonna go fucking all right, fucking see a bitch.
Right.
So.
Yeah, but I think that there's definitely I've been seeing like a legitimate. It seems like an organic kind of progressive outcry in many ways, right? As far as a knee-jerk reaction over emotional. Just in terms of reacting to Kanye's just kind of like what it's in my mind, what it's planting further escalating the culture war in every way in my mind. But also it's kind of blurring the lines between opposing Israel and supporting Hitler, right? Like 100%. And so now even some of the progressives I've seen have a little bit of like they're not quite certain what to do with it. You know, it's very
How
interesting.
How do I feel about Hitler?
Yeah, I'm telling you. But by the way, didn't you notice Ye's apparently Ye's these leaks, right? All the proceeds. Did you see that were allegedly being donated to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum?
Yeah, which is like I don't believe in IP, but like y'all do, and no one like what the fuck? Like I don't know. That sounds like that's probably illegal. Although I don't know. I guess maybe it's not illegal since like I don't know what the copyright. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the copyright process works with songs or anything like that. So it feels like it would. I mean, I almost said should be illegal. I actually don't think it should be illegal, but like under the current system, you know, under the like if you're going to believe in IP, you would think that would 100% be illegal. Like, yeah, you might be like, well, it's not copyrighted, but it's like, okay, but you believe in a system of intellectual property. Like, if there's any system in which like someone would have a right to their intellectual property, this would fucking be it.
For real.
So it's like you could be like, well, you didn't dot your I and cross your T, but it's like that's not how fucking rights work, you dumb fuck. If anything, like giving more to the reasoning of like it's not a fucking right. You can't own ideas. But either way, it's still fucked up to do.
But I did see Owen Benjamin tweeted, of course the Jews are making money on nigga Heil Hitler.
Yeah.
I just thought was a perfect way to address that. But
well, they said doesn't he have like a swastika chain now or something? And I think that's one he's been wearing lately or something. And apparently he got it from a Jew.
Oh my god!
That's like
of course,
surprise. Like, but
dude,
like I don't know.
That is too funny.
Yeah.
I know, but I am concerned that maybe this could potentially be used as a tool to further manufacture consent on this infringement upon the First Amendment, utilizing anti-Semitism as a justification. That's only because when do they not?
I mean,
never let a good crisis go to waste, as they say.
If that's the play, it might. I feel like it's I don't know. I mean, it feels like a stupid fucking play. I just maybe once again I'm in my bubble, so maybe it's but my impression. You know, you see. I mean, we saw Shiloh get $500,000. You know, I don't know. It's Toads. I think I don't know if he already went on, but I think he's supposed to be going on InfoWars tonight. So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, like he's
dude,
fucking,
holy shit.
Yeah, like. So it's like they're fucking. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying Toads can make $500,000, but it's just that it's like I think if they are gonna play this if they're gonna. I mean, I've been feeling it in my bones for a while. I've been calling it, and so it almost feels like we might miss it and luck up. I've been calling for a while that I feel like they're gonna crack down on the J stuff, and I feel like they've been putting their feelers out. I do feel like I'm getting the impression they're trying, and I think this is one piece of it. But I'm not feeling the damn breaking yet, at least. Yeah. So I get what you're saying in the sense that this is like, it feels like them putting their feelers out as if that like, oh, like he did this crazy thing. Maybe we can rock off this.
Oh my god.
Don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
It was so funny seeing Sam, dude, sing that with Toad. It was hilarious.
But, but it's big stuff. I mean, they made it a rallying cry. Like but it's actually literally a month from today, Bro Grove, and then we'll be riding off this wave of him getting canceled. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
so
dude.
it's So I mean, he's riding that off getting canceled. We're being like, it's just completely backfiring. So I just don't think. I mean, yeah, there are. Obviously, I've seen the opposite of the haters and stuff like that. But I'm just saying the energy there. It's just I don't think people are. I don't think you talk to people and like I talk to normal people and like they find the Heil Hitler thing funny. I mean, they find it some of them find it a little bit ridiculous, childish, but they're like, okay, whatever, that's kind of funny, or whatever. Like, and then when they're like when you tell someone that, like, oh yeah, they banned the instrumental version, they're like, why? And even if they're like, yeah, I feel like most people are like they banned the actual version. They're like, why? Like,
Crazy.
Like, so I think most people, I don't think it's flying, and I do think you are somewhat correct in that they're trying to see if they can make it a test case. Like, oh, but it's just not. I don't think it's working. So
I saw. This dude, I think his name's David Murphy. Like, my name is Murph or something is his handle on Instagram, but he's a comic. He's a funny dude. He does sets at the Laugh Factory in the Comedy Store all the time. But I saw he had a bit that he was working at that he was talking about how you remember the scene in Office Space at the beginning when Homeboy's got the rap music on and he's going hard as hell, and then this black dude is like out, selling like flowers or some shit on the sidewalk, and he just rolls his window up and like lowers the music real quick and like is like silently muttering the lyrics, it was totally like a white boy moment, right? Where you don't want to seem racist to some black dude that sit outside the car, which is hilarious to me. And so obviously the David was essentially, he said for the first time, he knows what it feels like for white boys who lower the hip hop music whenever they're like at a stoplight, and some black dude walks up. And he was like, because he had nigga Heil Hitler on, and he rolls up to a stoplight and he's like, I swear I just love the beat. But it's still, I thought it was funny. It is moving culture, and that's like the point, right? Is that I think it's brilliant. It is genius artistically, but and we need to smash these taboos, obviously, once and for all, as we said before. But yeah, I just honestly, I think, man, I don't know. It's consistently you're seeing a generated reaction, that falls perfectly in line with that escalated culture war, which to me further divides and also further entraps people within the confines of the two-party delusion. So they will once again facilitate the current system, which to me, it's like at all times they are effectively undermining any sort of and neutering, the revolutionary class, right, at any real level, posing any true threat to the permanent establishment. That's not at all happening. Now, I don't want to act as if we shouldn't be optimistic about how much they do have to provide smoke and mirrors and intentionally deceive us. We have to obviously attempt to do our due diligence and remain as objective as possible, and also remain skeptical at all times, which is always my inevitable philosophical outlook and perspective on how we should kind of engage with all of this. But it's like, again, man, like we are talking about a media landscape that is so oversaturated, and like talk about a media cycle that is meant to demoralize and designed to distract. It's a daily basis of like, I mean, it feels like massive stories are happening daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think any of us are equipped with the tools to like effectively navigate these waters in a way that, I mean, hopefully that's the goal, but it's like that we're always under threat. I think we have to remain. This is why I try to be as careful as I can, but it's still, I'm so distrustful at this moment. I think they're meant to muddy the waters, to kind of keep our head on a swivel permanently, so we can't see straight. We're always questioning who we can and cannot trust.
Mm-hmm.
The alternative media,
like Gerald Hart pokes out. Right
which,
here.
dude, by the way, that tweet, right, that I made in solidarity with Toad, dude, somebody responded to it, and they're like, I hope this was a joke, but it was like they were essentially like accusing us of running some sort of covert fundraising right operation where we were just like instead of just supporting the homie, in a time of crisis, right? Like it's
our op to raise money together for our cell-based structure in which we pool money into our larger entity and we carry out I don't even know where I'm going with this, but yeah, it is I don't know. Yeah, I know. I've seen a lot of people point out, and I will say a lot of people have. I get why people would be like, "Is this real?" The whole Toad thing, because it does seem like a joke, and we have. I mean, especially. I'm surprised no one's brought up yet that we haven't anyone give a shit and be like, oh, look at these liars, because we did do that troll with the whole like war crime thing on Easter. I don't know if you guys remember that, where we took one of Top's kids, where like his mom took pictures of him doing some sort of like Catholic thingy they do, where I guess some of them do like mock like crucifixions or something. Dude, and like we literally spun it to make it look like it was very not well done. Like that was the joke, that it was like very obvious, like very clearly using like MS Paint for like blood spatter and stuff. And the idea is that they were like Christian children that were being crucified, or not? No, that it was Jewish children that were being crucified by Hamas.
That's so funny. That is so
and it
funny.
like went super viral, but it was like super obvious that it was bullshit. Like that was like that was the joke, because it was like at that point in the October 7th stuff when like all the crazy, and so it was like all the crazy over the top claims of like crazy war crimes. So we were like, we should make our own, and it went viral. And so it's like I'm surprised that was brought that up. Be like, you guys are full of shit, but no, this is I mean, unless Toad's lying to us. I mean, he hasn't provided anything that
I will
proof,
say we did
so I'm
question.
taking his word about it. But
right,
like, it'd be a wild thing to lie about to like your best friends.
Yeah, exactly. I will say last night on whatever this is, we definitely questioned, where is that money going?
Yeah,
I'm not so sure.
on the Bulls.
Yeah, right.
On game 3.
yeah. Oh shit, that's hilarious.
All right, man, you ready to go? You ready to do post-mortem on last week's episode? That's what I think we've settled on. See, that even sounds good. We can go do a post-mortem on last minute. So that's like the little bridge to our intermission. Do a post-mortem on last week's episode. So there we go. All right, perfect. Whoever's idea that was, good job. And then 20 other people suggested it after you, so you're not special. But thank you. I was too dumb to think of it myself. But yeah, let's do that. We'll play. It's about I'll do a little bit of an intermission, and we'll be back. When we come back, we'll do the call-ins. So I do want to remind you guys, if you're patrons of me or Austin, we put out the link on the day of every week when we do these. So if you were patrons of me or Austin, you guys would have preference in the call-in. And by call-in, it's a StreamYard link. You don't have to do video. You can turn the video off. You can do call-in. But if you are one of me or Austin's patrons, you get the link, so you get early access to it. And that means we essentially know if you were there before the other people. We give out the public link. Like, we give out the link to our patrons beforehand. In the middle of the show, right now, we give out the link to the public. So the public, you do have a chance to join. But if our patrons, which there are a few of them back there, but they do seem to just like to hang out back there, so they might not want to talk. But if they all decide to want to talk and they take your spot, that's their prerogative. So give us money if you don't like that. Sorry. But with that, let's go ahead and get into this intermission, and we'll be back, and then we'll take you guys' great calls and chit-chat for about 45 minutes or so more and get the fuck out of here. All right, we'll
Top Lobster Productions.
I'm a dog and I like socks. I like socks. I'm a dog. I'm a dog and I like socks. I like socks. I'm a dog. Give me that sock. Nom nom. Give me that sock. Nom nom.
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself.
You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I knew that poop life.
Yeah. So coprophile,
gross.
a person who is sexually aroused by human excrement.
Jesus.
So that reminded me instantly of Aleister Crowley, by the way, because
yeah, he would write on the walls with
shit,
blood and excrement, and that's the stuff that
blood.
Marina Abramovic does as well.
Yeah,
you know,
cult
semen,
shit right
blood, poop.
Let me breathe into your bones, whispering to bring you home. You're not alone, alone.
We are lost and abandoned, left to run by the ancients. Free will is not free when you're enslaved to a tyrant. Flaming giant, we must defy them. Our is our defense of violence. They want it, but rage they need it. To hate forever, darkness
Into your bones, whispering to bring you home. You're not alone in my mind, but you are lost inside us.
That's what they
At
all
this
end up
point.
being. All these monarchs, all these fucking bloodline fucks, all they like. At the end of the day, we can all joke and laugh, but like at the end of the day, they're all just fucking people craving stuff in the butthole.
We will stagnate from you. Your presence is down. There's no end in sight. Your heart is where darkness consumes your light.
Thanks, Ben. Sure, kid.
Shoot Bobby Raymond through the forehead.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well that sure did fuck now, didn't it? That was
Fucking
pretty dope.
banger.
Yeah.
Tim, send that to me.
Yeah, that was
I'm sure he'll
amazing.
put it in the fucking
Yeah.
Dropbox.
I think he did actually. I think he dropped it last night.
You guys know, like I figured how Google Drives work recently myself, so I'm not even.
We're getting a
condescending
copyright
here.
for that, though. Just so you know.
Are we? I mean, whatever. I don't even care about the copyrights.
always
Whatever.
get copyright,
yeah, whatever. The copyrights mean nothing. That means I can't monetize, which I'm not monetized anyways.
If
Like
you get
ad
enough
wise.
of them to lock your account. They did it to me.
Well, it depends. I know people love this sort of this making the sausage stuff, but when it comes to the copyright stuff, it really depends on the person. So, and they'll tell you when you put it up and so you won't get strikes. They'll just tell you to remove it, and then you go okay. So like it's, but you don't really like get in trouble. So you can post copyrighted shit all the time. I mean, within reason. I think it depends on what it is to some extent. So, but shit like that will be good. I mean, it just means I won't get the 10th of a cent that maybe I would get an ad read if I actually got ad shit. So,
I got you.
But yeah.
Shit.
But,
well, we got. You want to talk about the Golden Dome for a brief moment? It's it was definitely unveiled as far as the Trump just unveiled it, right? Like potentially costing what $500 billion in 20 years or something, and like 25. It's like super short, his announcement, right, of protecting the homeland, but it's very interesting as far as what is involved, because this is absolutely insane, right? And it's kind of an extraordinary precedent as far as what is being done here. And guess obviously we discussed it prior to this, a couple weeks back when I brought up the Golden Dome and we discussed how Anduril and Palantir and SpaceX were the direct beneficiaries of this, and so it's pretty crazy stuff. But anyway, this is what Trump at least had to say in today's unveiling of the Golden Dome missile defense system.
We have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. And Canada has called us, and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them. They want to have protection also. So as usual, we help Canada do the best we can. This design for the Golden Dome will integrate with our existing defense capabilities and should be fully operational before the end of my term. So we'll have it done in about 3 years. Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles, even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space. And we will have the best system ever built. As you know, we helped Israel with theirs, and it was very successful. And now we have technology that's even far advanced from that, but including hypersonic missiles, ballistic missiles, and advanced cruise missiles. All of them will be knocked out of the air. We will truly be completing the job that President Reagan started 40 years ago, forever ending the missile threat to the American homeland, and the success rate is very close to 100%, which is incredible when you think of it. You're shooting bullets out of the air. I'm also pleased to report that the one big beautiful bill will include $25 billion for the Golden Dome to help construction get underway. That's the initial sort of a down deposit, and we have probably, you're talking about, General, we're talking about $175 billion total cost of this when it's completed.
Yeah, so it's going to cost an extraordinary amount of money, and by the way, that lands perfectly in place with the $1 trillion increase in military spending as far as the military budget is concerned, and first $1 trillion military budget in human history, right? And by the way,
remember we were in single-digit $1 trillion of debt, and now it's just like, oh, yeah, no, that's just $1 trillion for a year of the military. So like, okay.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
And I think it was at the Council on Foreign Relations, I think, is where the Space Force Chief General Chance Saltzman, he basically said on Monday when he was kind of unveiling the Golden Dome, that the administration argued the effort is basically Golden Dome is not one big umbrella we buy that protects the homeland from a number of threats. Many of the sensors and systems for the effort already exist, he said, but need to be connected by a software backbone. This does seem like a major development in terms of the kind of the totalitarian technocracy in my mind, and how a lot of these unfolding methods of dystopian biometrics are kind of like at least revealing themselves, and how they will fundamentally be utilized, I think, on the ground. And that is again, this is a system that is going to encompass the entire country, right? And this is another reason why it's like, to me, it just looks, again, SpaceX, Palantir, Anduril. These are the entities that are the primary beneficiaries. It's as if you're once again getting sort of, it's you're getting some sort of payback for the ultimate support that you provided for the current administration, and again, like what do these entities and individuals at the forefront, what do they represent? They represent what was it? John Haldeman, Elon's grandfather.
Yep.
Yeah. Technocracy Incorporated, and what was the other political organization that he was a part of that was all about universal basic income and things of that nature.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the name of it. Yeah, because he was all about
all the
UBI,
hallmarks,
so.
right?
Yep.
So I'm not at all surprised. You look at the numbers of what they're claiming the project would cost. 175 billion would be completed within 3 years. The estimate from the Congressional Budget Office put the price tag at 500 billion over 20 years. And that 25 billion to start the construction would take in effect in next year's budget. That's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so this is a missile shield, but again, it's like, what exactly is this other than a boondoggle, cash-in display of how the military-industrial complex kind of operates on a daily basis? This is the cash cow, This is why the Ukraine conflict can't end, because it's a money-making operation. It's a money laundering, in my mind, operation as well. And I mean, also, what have they been? Truly, it's like you think about the implications of the geographical area that is Ukraine. I mean, it's just like this is the geopolitical conflict playing out internationally, and it's always playing out. It's just they're attempting to kind of provide us with the false narratives so we can't see clearly in terms of how this is actually being achieved under our noses, in front of our very eyes. And we'll just fall back into the trap and vote our way out of this, as if that's a functional way to embrace reality. But
as it gets creepier and creepier and creepier, as we tiptoe into this creepy technology space. There's just ties into this story that this is actually one of the guys in the chat, in our private chat, one of the patrons was asking us to cover. But this is I guess this is from Swampus. They sent us I don't know if it was Bobo or who it was of you guys, but they sent us this post. It says, it's insane what's happening in New Orleans using advanced facial recognition. They're arresting all the shooters who venture into the French Quarter, which I don't really know exactly what's going on in New Orleans. I know some sort of major shootings things going on, or so evidence by NOPD 2025 YTD crime stats. Project NOLA facial recognition crime cameras are helping the NOPD 8th district achieve an unprecedented reduction in violent crime and near perfect violent crime solve rate. 80% less non-fatal shootings, 69% less armed robberies, 91% less simple robberies, 67% less property snatchings, 57% less business burglaries, blah, 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 blah. Okay, these numbers are strongly trending. Possibly attaining the greatest. Okay, they're supposedly this is this new thing they're applying. Somehow this is going to help, or this is helping reducing a bunch. So they're showing, here's photos. I don't really know. I mean, what is? I guess they're using. Okay, I mean, yeah, they're using this now. So I don't really know what to make of this. This is really creepy. Is this bad? I don't know if I even really found that bad. I don't know. As long as they're like looking in private areas, I don't know. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
creepy.
The intelligence sharing aspect of a lot of it as well.
Yes,
like
that's
it's like
creepy.
it is super creepy. And how much of this like has been litigated? How do we even know how these companies are orchestrating it? As far as like, what are they doing with this? And in my mind, that is kind of the plausible deniability playbook, right? That they consistently operate on, and so it seems like a page out of that playbook, where this is kind of like we're witnessing the dystopian biometrics at play in real time, but none of us are actually
using a go bag containing AR glasses and a Starlink terminal while in a remote area of Mississippi.
Shut the fuck up.
A Project NOLA supervisor kept responding units aware of Brown's position as he walked down Bourbon Street. Special kudos to 8th Street. So yeah, now they're like using these special glasses, and I'm imagining in my head like fucking like a Iron Man type shit, and like I don't know how these glasses work, and then like you the faces, and you're like, oh, there's a match. Oh, not a match. Match. Oh, match. Like, I mean, I don't know exactly what that is, but I mean, is this really that creepy though? If you think about it, 'cause I mean, it sounds creepy. You're like, oh, face thing, but if they still have to manage it, is this really any different than showing some motherfucker a picture? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is this it's just like a super
it's
techie?
just the idea that the camera's always on, It's like
I guess
it's the Minority Report pre-crime database sort of situation
you
where
get what I'm saying? If the idea is that there's a thing on it, it's like, are you literally just providing this motherfucker a photo?
yeah, that is ridiculous. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Like, what is
was
special
this like
about
Google
this?
Glasses or some shit?
I guess. I guess I just don't really understand what's this. Now, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, what is advanced facial recognition? What pictures? What does this mean?
Stop it! No, there has to be a software program in place that is tech.
I mean,
I would
unless
imagine
there's some massive depository that then runs faces through and then gets the names. It's the only thing I can think of, but it sounds like they're using the faces to find the person and not having the names. I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding something here. So, I mean, if they're somehow getting the names ahead of time, but it sounds like they're literally looking for this guy just based off of, this advanced facial recognition. And it's like,
right.
But you're looking for the guy based on his appearance.
Right.
You remember what way is that different than just, here's a fucking photo, dude? Go find this guy.
Right. But you remember Promise, right? Just the case management software system. Like, you would think that, at this point, they've definitely figured out ways to kind of like effectively utilize AI in terms of pulling up individuals' identities within the database and the constructed database that the authorities would, I would imagine, have access to. I mean, that's what I would think, but I can't imagine that that's how low level their tech is at that. You know what I mean?
Know.
Like,
I just,
yeah.
I don't.
That's
Yeah,
so
but maybe
funny,
I
man.
feel like I have to be wrong. There has to be something else here.
I gotta look into
as I was
this,
thinking
'cause I
about it,
don't
it
even
was
know.
in my head like do match, but I'm like, okay, but that really, even then that is like, that's just essentially you going, is that guy? And then like then you having a computer assisting you going, yeah, that is that guy, as if you need the computer to go, yeah, that's that guy.
Right.
I mean, it's AI, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like trying to tell you if it's the
Hey
if the
Grok,
face
is
matches
this
the name.
that nigga?
It's going to be hard to tell what's the problem, I tell you.
Oh my god, I'm just imagining some like stupid fucking cop just like typing into Grok like, hey, at Grok, is this that nigga? You know, like that's the new thing everyone does. Hey Grok, is this true?
Absolutely. That is
That's what the
hilarious.
new top of the line fucking tech surveillance is.
Yeah.
Dude, did you
Yeah,
see that
checks out.
hilarious post that Trump had on Truth Social about where he mentions Hillary Clinton's body count, or the Clinton body count, and like at least like he posted a video that is all about the Clinton body count, and so
Trump-
this is
Trump
also is
posted
funny
it?
to me because yeah, it was funny to me as well because it generated a reaction, and of course you had like this very strange kind of, you have Russell Brand on the forefront, right? Like pushing this interesting narrative as far as the reaction to this post that Trump had. We should watch it real quick. It's not very long at all, but Russell Brand announces, right, that now this emboldened him. Trump's recent post on Truth
this
Social,
Pizzagate
and now
thing,
he's going to
yeah.
dive into Pizzagate, guys.
Oh,
The
thank
gloves are
goodness.
off. Yeah, he's not going to control that narrative in any sort of way to attempt to misdirect the public and his audience as if he's
Now
some
that
sort
he's
of
wiped
modern
the pizza
Mockingbird
sauce
asset.
off his face.
Dude, fuck this guy. I mean, honestly, Russell Brand, you watch that video of him with Diddy, it's like, did you guys fuck on the plane or did you wait? So it's like they're 100%. You have that tied with now you watch Get Him to the Greek. It's like entirely different. In my mind, it's so hilarious. But at the same time, why would this guy who, and it's very obvious, right? He's a contrived, controlled asset influencing the minds of the public. He gained his credibility through this false canceling and things of that nature, which I think like, yeah, it genuinely occurs at times, but it also emboldens to, these sort of character profiles and their prominence within the if you've been martyred within the culture war, then you become like a deity in the context of the culture war to people who engage in reality in those terms. And that's what I find, at least I take issue with, obviously. But this is interesting. Trump posts wild Clinton body count on Truth Social. It's hilarious though. And it's like, this is what Trump's actually doing, and probably instead of
Kennedy Jr., he was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney was a Clinton White House intern. She knew enough of the inner workings of Bill's sexual advancements to be a star witness during the Clinton impeachment trials. She was brutally executed at a Starbucks she was managing in 1997.
Holy shit! I think she was the one that, if I recall correctly, I believe she was the one I think helped with some of the Mina stuff.
Yeah,
I might be mixing up people. There's so many fucking dead people, and she was had stories about seeing Roger and his brother, obviously Bill, doing all sorts of drugs together, and he even has a funny story about, I guess, how Bill somehow did so much cocaine he ended up in a trash can. Although that makes me feel like it's more like actually a made up story than real to me personally, because I've done cocaine.
Yeah,
I'm like, I would never
your
end up in a
nose
trash
would just
can.
start bleeding. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, I don't know how I would ever do cocaine and be like, I'm in a trash can now.
likes. 1.7.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never vomited because of cocaine use, though.
Yeah. All right, we can keep playing this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is crazy.
Dead in Fort Marcy Park near D.C. He supposedly killed himself, and among a lengthy list of potential foul play,
like 10 times.
the bullet was never found. Then there's James McDougal, a key witness for White House prosecutors. He was serving his 3-year sentence for bank fraud at the Fort Worth Federal Medical Center in Texas. And just before he was to give a testimony before the grand jury, McDougal suffered a heart attack in solitary confinement. In 2015, Walter Scheib, a White House chef hired under Bill Clinton, joined the list. His body was found at the bottom of a river, nearly 2 miles from the base of the trail he was reportedly hiking. An autopsy determined that Scheib's death was accidental drowning, but he might have known too much. 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was shot and killed in D.C. this year. There is speculation that he was the source of the controversial leaked emails allegedly sent by DNC staffers.
100%.
And that he may have been
be
murdered
rich, but not
in
Seth Rich.
retaliation.
No.
Then
exactly.
Sean Lucas, the lead attorney in a fraud case against the DNC, was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. His death was reported classified, pending the results of an autopsy.
Yeah. So you get the point. It is crazy though, right? Like the fact that he posted that at the very least.
What was the date on that, if you don't mind?
Oh, that video?
Yeah. When
Or the post? The post just happened.
The post just happened?
Yeah. The post
I
just
wonder. The only
That's
reason I'm thinking about this is actually, maybe we should play it real quick. I played it last night, but I thought it was pretty solid. You'll probably dig it. Hopefully I didn't delete it. Maybe I already did delete it. I think I might be fucked. Nope, here it is. 1 second, let me set this up. This is the buddy. I don't know if you've ever talked to him. If we've ever had him on the show. This is Liam Cosgrove. I think he works for Zero Hedge now. He used to work for Gray Zone. He's had some great fucking moments. But here's him talking about a Clinton body count thing too. And this was yesterday. So I'm like, I wonder if maybe this could have sparked his mind. Because this is what, Kaylee McElhenney or whatever the fuck her name is.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So this is directly to her, and this is solid. So this is a master class in how you fucking ask questions and kind of really get them off guard and then completely 180, not 180, I guess more like a 90 degree into something else. But let's go and play this.
Weekend, President Trump posted Truth Social a video highlighting what most people call the Clinton body.
Oh, I'm actually wrong. No, this is actually the opposite. So no, I'm assuming you said it was just posted. He just referenced it. So this was yesterday. So no, I guess that it was older than I thought. That's why I asked the date. But whatever, we may as well finish it. So.
Count, which is the strange number of suicides that seem to happen in Clinton circles. I have a headline here from the Washington Post that said, Trump peddles false conspiracy theories tying the Clintons to several deaths. So I just wanted to highlight real quick, this wasn't in Trump's video, but this is from the Arkansas Times. And it's the death of Mark Middleton, who was a former Clinton White House aide, who was found dead on a Clinton Foundation property. And I'll just quote from the Arkansas Times. Middleton apparently shot himself in the chest with a shotgun and also hung himself from a tree with an extension cord. So I have no idea how somebody commits suicide that way, but if the Washington Post
I don't mean to laugh at his death, but
fuck,
man.
No, yeah, it is wild. That is but yeah.
That is so crazy, man.
Worst case of suicide I've ever heard of.
Right.
Maybe you can enlighten us as to how that was actually a suicide. So anyways, that's just a lead into my question about the most famous Clinton-related suicide, which is that of Jeffrey Epstein. There's still a lot of questions around that case. You've released phase 1 of the Epstein files. What was missing from that is any connection to his ties to intelligence.
Anything worth a damn.
And that's really the whole story. That not just trafficking young girls, but doing it on behalf of intelligence agencies, and even potentially as part of a blackmail ring with potential ties to the Israeli government. So for phase 2, when can we expect it? Will it have information pertaining to those aspects of the Epstein case?
I know the Attorney General has committed to releasing those files. I would defer you to the Department of Justice on her timeline, but when she has made a promise in the past, she has kept it, and I'm certain that she will in this case.
Even though it's literally her not keeping her promise that we're talking about, but whatever, we'll forget about that. But anyway, I just thought that was okay. I thought maybe we were onto something. It was the opposite. It was like literally like that was what got Trump talking about it, but no, the other way around. But either way, still good job to the homie Liam Cosgrove. I've had him on the show before. I don't think I've ever had him on with you, but he's good shit. He's really good. Well, a guy that's been in my DMs quite a bit too, be like, hey, what's the deal with this thing or that thing? He's always interested in some conspiracy thing. So it's cool seeing people doing real cool big shit like that out there. And also knowing that they are actually genuinely intellectually curious in the sort of stuff that we are in like a real way. So you're like, fuck yeah, dude. But yeah, we got Bobo here. What's up, dude?
What's up, Bobo?
What's up, man?
I was under the impression that no one wanted to come up, or I would have already brought somebody up. Sorry, Jose.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people back there. No, you're good. You failed us. I just want to let the audience know there's like 30 people back there, like actually like 40 people back there, probably like 50. And there's so many people. It's so much demand going on here. But like, just everyone's just hanging out in the back. They don't want to. I'm like somewhat being a little bit facetious, but there actually are quite a few people. There's at least, we got 5, I think, or maybe 4. I'm looking at around 4. So that's for people just chilling, doing nothing. There's a good decent amount of y'all just chilling back there. But there's open lines for anyone wants to join. But we got Bobo with us.
Show.
Although I don't know, I guess we only got about 10 minutes. We'll probably bounce, give or take. So we got time for another call after that if someone wants to jump in. But we got Bobo here. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. Just looking to talk about the hash rate wars going on right now.
The hash rate? Is that a new race or something? What is this? Is this like a new type of Jew? What are we talking about?
No. It's the Bitcoin race to see who can get the top right now, and it's fucking going insane in slow motion right now. If you're into it, like it's crazy to see it happen.
Slow motion.
Like seeing it play out and actually watching theory take place on who might win, because the whole thing is this. Whoever can get 25 to 30% will be able to control most of the rest of the supply and also have the ability to acquire so much unfathomable wealth. It'll be insane for the next several generations.
Wow.
So I don't know. We were talking about that in the back, and then your mom was like, "Hey, Bo, go on." And I'm like, "Okay, if people want to talk about this, fine."
Yeah.
I didn't want to be the boring guy, but I got mom.
No, I'm not trying to be a dick at all. It's just really hard for me to like generate anything out of internet money.
Your mom said, yes, Bo, educate us. It's important.
Well, I will say, the stable coins, right? Like I kind of look at the newly you see that what was that name of the Trump organization, the business that's essentially the Trump's family business. What was it?
I know the one you're talking
Hold on,
about.
I gotta pull. Hold up, I'm pulling
the
it
top of
up.
my
Yeah, Crypto Venture tapped as part of a $2 billion Emirati-backed investment deal. Trump family crypto. It was called World Liberty Financial. That's it. And
now
basically,
here's the scary.
yeah, go ahead, bud.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to print off a shit ton of money eventually just to go ahead and try to acquire the 25 to 30%. If that happens, poor people are going to get a shit ton poorer. So it's time to start buying assets right now.
Interesting.
Right. And then you have Michael Saylor fighting with BlackRock on who can acquire the most for a just corporation. Because, BlackRock has a shit ton of crazy money and they're trying to purchase a shit ton. And then, you have the ETFs blowing up on the stock market right now. It's like, I don't know. Again, if you're not into that sphere, okay, cool, dude. But watching in real life is intense right now, or not intense. I don't know. I'm getting way too excited over it, but
no, I feel like a dick being the one who's not into it because it's like I agree. It's nice hearing you talk about the thing you're into.
Fucking address done. Get your address done.
I'm not. I'm the one member of Tower Gang that hasn't been doxxed. We're gonna keep it that way. You're not getting my address.
No. I won't know. No one's going to know who it is.
Being a dick. I know. I know what a Bitcoin address is. I'm being an asshole.
I took it literally.
No, I'm being a dick. But no, I don't know. I'll figure it out one of these days. I don't like change, and technology scares me. So.
Same. But I'm forced in this digital realm, and if I'm forced in it, I'm going to make money off of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to warn people about it. Shit's going to get worse in the fiat world. You don't want to hold it. Gold is going to go ahead and get toppled.
You think gold's going to get toppled?
With Bitcoin, yes.
Oh,
because
shit. Okay.
Because of scarcity. They can still find more gold, right? They're still finding it all the time. Some people say China's making fake gold that they, quote, find by putting lead in it and then putting it up for auction. Now, if that's true, I don't know. But there's only going to be 21 million Bitcoins in existence, right? Mm-hmm. And right now, the hash rate wars, everyone's fighting to get just even a Satoshi of it, even more, right?
Oh, yeah.
Steak and Shake? Steak and Shake has they accept Bitcoin now as payment.
I do think that the cashless society is the dystopian wet dream, obviously, though, and I understand making money within the framework of the cryptocurrency, obviously, and the new digital asset, but and I still have Monero. I like the pirate crypto. Obviously, I want to be as decentralized as possible, but I think DeFi, decentralized finance, is essentially entirely compromised. Obviously, we know it's a corrupt system. I think that the stable coins are the end around. Tether is effectively going to work as the fundamental CBDC, but it's the plausible deniability aspect of the private sector playing out. But in reality, it's a government-backed, venture, and that's 100% why Tether is now being implemented at this level, as far as this new kind of it will be the U.S. government's preferred stable coin. To in my mind, they're going to obviously control the digital asset markets, which is obviously what they want, and it's what they've effectively done. So I'm just worried that, again, it's we're always heading in the dystopian direction of the totalitarian tiptoe, and crypto is a huge proponent within this concept and the structured structured outcome of the new technocratic state that is forming in front of our very own eyes. And that's why I think the people who are behind all of this, right? The CEO of Tether, who's involved with, obviously it's the largest stablecoin issuer, but he's also involved with these crazy insider trading deals that are happening with heads of state, where they're right? It's so crazy, dude. But again, it's I understand.
Did you see the one where they knew that they were it was a month ago. Some guy within 30 minutes made $51 million on a trade right before they started signing bills for cryptocurrency stuff. Did you see that one?
No.
It was an insane amount of money for 30 minutes of just trading. If someone was listening to the White House, I'll have to find some screenshots and send it to you. But yeah, I agree with you. I want it to be in the meat space, but we're getting forced into the digital space. So I don't know. I don't know how to put it other than like, if I could crash it all right now and just try to defend for myself, I would definitely love doing that. I just don't know, if that would ever happen. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you, buddy. It's not realistic to I mean, I think that, again, what I hope to effectively achieve at some point is to be as, to exercise individual sovereignty as much as possible and attempt to opt out in every single facet of my lifestyle if I can, as often as possible. But it's still like, I had a lot of fun trading in shit coins, honestly, for quite some time, and I think that you can make a lot of money. It's just there's a lot of rug pulls that go on, and a lot of people lose money that way. But it's like it's still, I don't call for regulation. It's like I think that's the game. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's what I appreciated about it.
I'm just super doubtful of a system that's going to be rolled out by the state that doesn't favor the house to an insane degree. So I mean, like, I don't know. So it's like, as you pointed out, I don't trust nerd shit. Like, I don't trust nerd shit. Like, yeah, I understand the theory of how this could take over, and sure it can. But at the end of the day, what I do trust is assets, real things, like putting value out into the world. Like, I mean, I don't know. So like, I get it. Maybe one of these days, if I get to a point where I'm really, really good financially, I'll start putting away money, Bitcoin. But till then, I'm just going to keep using it to pay off stuff, buy assets, whatever.
Wasn't Satoshi Nakamoto like a construct of the intelligence apparatus, and the name actually means like intelligence, something intelligence? I forget what the translation.
There's people who talk about that.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, brother. I think the
definitely not
blockchain.
Japanese if you see what he wrote.
Yeah. No, this dude doesn't exist. There's no way. There's no way Satoshi Nakamoto isn't just a conceptual construct by the intelligence agencies to, in my mind, create the inevitable central bank digital currency, but within the private sector constructed, dystopian version, where you'll have the public actually embrace it. And I think that is definitely happening. And so that's where, I think this has been the ultimate agenda, and it's playing out in modern day. And so again, it's like you see the Peter Thiels of the world. You see each and every one of the individuals who surround Trump at this moment are going to be the primary beneficiaries of this newly technocratic state that's being structured. So yeah, I definitely think that holding Bitcoin, yeah. I mean, obviously, if you get it at a low, you're gonna end up making some money for sure. It's just, when are you gonna cash in? You got to figure out the game that you play with the assets. I don't know about, like, I see so many people in the crypto world, they just white knuckle that shit and they hold for their entire life. And they, you know what I mean? And it's like, what are you doing? But then you're not actually like engaging in the marketplace. And I don't know. I don't know how you really make money that way at the end of the day. But I do think that obviously in the new system, we're going to have to adapt at some point. So,
it's like,
who knows what that looks like.
U.S. states now have legalized it for reserve use. New Hampshire just did.
Wow.
I don't know. As the point I was kind of driving at earlier, I think, is just the idea that, like, I mean, because the idea is that we're going to essentially adopt this as some sort of, universal, or not even universal, or there might be competing currencies.
National debt.
Yeah,
Nothing
but
overnight.
But the point being is that this is going to be the they're going to try to find the currency.
Global currency?
The global currency, whatever that may be. And so I think trying to expect that that's going to be, I don't know, not bad, and like as if this isn't going to be obviously fiat bullshit, no matter how it presents itself, just matters the better. Not thinking that is akin to thinking I'm going to vote and change things. It's the same idea as it's like a thing created to where, like, literally created by your opposition, and likely, and even the ways in which it's implemented or used, everything about it is essentially regulated by that entity. So
I think the trucker protest. You just you instantly think about what happens when all your assets and your banking system and every single aspect of it is digital, right? Which already it is effectively becoming that way. Clearly, you can just easily the state can, right? Essentially cut off your ability to engage financially in the world, and all they have to do is if it's all within the structure of the digital asset, and none of it's decentralized at that level, because clearly if they want to, they can just turn off your bank account and you have limited access. It's just, are you a dissident and at the level enough where they would prioritize you? But again, it's like, what does that do? We always criticize the concept of printing money out of thin air. Well, what happens when you just input a number into a computer system? And this is now, clearly the new administration's, let's say, spending increases is now, and what they raise the debt ceiling every chance they get. And so there's effectively no real recourse in terms of financial accountability as well, as far as just the tax system itself. So we're all tax slaves. We're all cattle for the permanent establishment. So why on earth would we want to, give them the ability to, again, it's like, if we're already priorities as far as just the dissident opinions that we have and that we embrace personally. So it's like, they clearly, this would only affect us in a negative way at the end of the day, in my mind. So, yeah, I think this is the goal that they've always attempted to achieve here, is the cashless society, which in my mind is the wrong direction to go in at every level. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm trying
to.
Yeah.
With that, Bobo, you've put us to sleep with this crypto talk.
Oh, wow. Dude, come on now.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? I think we're probably, I mean, if there's anything else you have on crypto, but it seems like we're kind of spinning around it. We're not doing that call me bullshit here. This is
dude.
But I agree. I just want to say I agree with you guys on it. I agree with you guys on all of it.
It's all
I
fake
was
and
just
gay. I
trying
got it.
more that getting adopted more, and it's crazy to watch.
It
Panama
is,
is now using a hydro dam to go ahead and mine Bitcoin. They've been talking to El Salvador. The El Salvadorian president is using a volcano to harvest it. Ireland is talking about setting up a strategic reserve, and then each individual state has been talking about legalizing it. Like, it is.
Oh yeah.
It at the same time, it's intense and like scary, but also interesting. Watch it all unfold slowly over time. It's
for me, it's like seeing the government go, "We got aliens." Like, I don't think we got aliens.
Well,
we're like, "Woo,
hey,
Bitcoin!
man.
We're all adopting Bitcoin." I think this is some bullshit.
Oh, for sure.
okay.
But hey.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
never mind. It's cool. No, you're good, buddy. I honestly, I agree with you though that it is fun watching the crypto markets. It's a crazy thing to engage with, but yeah, and there's money to be made, absolutely. But I like the Wild West crypto world, that the way that it was, at a certain level. Yeah, dude, exactly.
Go get some Toad
I
coin,
remember
guys.
first learning about it, where I can get Glock 18s at a drop point. And I was like, I can get a Fallout of Glock with this magic computer money. I was like, what the fuck?
Right. But yeah, anyway, very interesting stuff, brother, for sure. I appreciate you, Bobo, no doubt.
We're gonna let you go, brother. But we're gonna go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I thought you were naturally getting the pause for that there, Austin. But yeah, Austin, or I guess Jules. We'll start with Jules.
What's up, man?
You guys, we're gonna get out of here. It's been a fun week. I mean, there was a lot that happened this week. There was a lot. Like, it's a crisis fatigue, as someone said in the chat earlier. And by crisis,
there's a lot of fatigue going around
Yeah.
right now. Let's just say.
Yeah, that's true. But Jules, where can people find you?
Guys, Gray Pill Pod on Twitter. Go follow me over there. GrayPilled_podcast on Instagram. Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Patreon. I got sticker packs about to send out, so all my patrons be ready to receive. I got some Paranoid American stuff in there as well. So yeah, thank you all for supporting me over there, and the one guy on Locals as well. And speaking of Paranoid American, y'all can go to paranoidamerican.com/discount/graypilled for 10% off. Also, go to toplobster.com, guys, and buy some Already Dead merch.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
Got that over there. But yeah, guys, good show tonight. I kind of was in the shadows, but was a good show.
Yeah. You are our Jungian shadow. We are integrating you into our collective consciousness here. However, the Jungian's bullshit, his pedo bullshit, whatever the fuck he was going on about. But
Dude,
Austin,
that fucking
our
video
fully
you
realized
sent me,
self here. Oh,
that
the
video,
Braxton
that was
shit?
crazy, brother.
Right?
Yeah.
There was so many things connecting there. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, for sure. Instantly,
Yeah.
we gotta focus on
Yeah.
a little bit of Abraxas.
Dutro tomorrow, me and you, baby.
Yeah,
No, tomorrow, Thursday.
No,
Video
Thursday.
that was
Yeah,
next day.
I'm excited though.
I
Yeah,
see this video, dude.
for sure, buddy. But anyway, yeah, new intelligence guys. Israel's making preparations. They're going to strike the Iranian nuclear facilities. Everyone,
Probably
so
cover that tomorrow. Yeah.
keep your
We'll
head
see.
on a swivel, boys.
Yeah, I'll cover that.
I'm not
tomorrow
fucking dying
sure.
for Israel.
Yeah.
All right.
No, fuck that. But Austin, where can we find you at?
All right, man. I love you guys, and you know the best place to support me, patreon.com/theunderclasspodcast. Just did episode 15 of whatever this is last night with the boys. So that was a good time, and let's see. I don't know. That's basically it for right now. I have a few interviews coming up that I'm trying to get on the other side of, so I can like really focus on prioritize what I need to get done. But still, I'm very blessed and grateful for the opportunities. It's been a lot of fun doing these interviews, But anyway, so I think all of us are tired at this moment, honestly. Yeah. But I am very excited for Bro Grove. I'll be honest.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
super
just
pumped.
Crunch time till then, dude. Just fucking, I don't know, just nothing but killing it out here.
I was gonna say, just did an Elohim etymology. That'll be out this next week, Jose. I'll send you the link to it, man, so you can check it out.
Yeah, but for those who want to support what I'm doing over here, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, 5-star reviews on iTunes or Spotify. If you want to get a product for your support, go over to NWJ.com. Use Jose at checkout. You get 10% off. That's a single blade safety razor, superior to the typical shaving experience. It's one blade on each side. You shave just like you would with a normal shaver, and it gives you a much smoother shave. It's a lot better for your skin, a lot cheaper, from a company that doesn't hate your guts. So but yeah, go check that out, NWJShaveCo.com. And then for those who want to directly support the show, patreon.com/NoWayJose2020. The lowest level is $2. That's for your early access to the episodes. I've been doing 1 to 2 a week lately these days, trying to keep 4 behind the paywall at a time. So you're getting weeks of paywalled content back there. You also get an ad-free RSS feed, and you also get a priority for the call-ins for tonight for these already deads. Allows you to hang out in the pre-show too, so that way you can hang out in the beginning, and a lot of you guys like to do that. Also, I have my sponsors. Those are my highest level on my Patreon. I read them off every episode. It's a big thank you to them. I'm a co-host on Tower Gang at Tower Gang Toad, which he needs to stop doing that because he's fired, but he probably just hasn't handled it yet. At Abrogate D's, at ZOVRECK, at _Vizil, Tim Tuttle, at Jawline Klebold, Will Bell's Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, and big fan of the show, Tori May, at INWARD Lover. Reminder, it's patreon.com/NoWayJose2020 if you want to support what the homie's doing over here. And I always forget to throw it in at the appropriate time, but at Tower Gang Jose, if you want to follow me, that's the best place to tag me and stuff for the morning show. Join me tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be doing the morning show. It's when we typically do it. But and then, as I said, me and Austin will be starting our Dutro series on Thursday. But it's going to be behind the paywall for the non-poors. But we're going to get out of here. Love you all. See you next week, and see you soon.